Shakti. So we have Shakti. He has 13 years of experience in IT, of which he's worked for 7 years plus into Salesforce Industries, including media, telecom. I think he's covered CME completely and energies and utilities as well. So he's a pro here. And he has also worked on ad sales management. So he's here to throw some light onto how, ad sales management actually helps media companies to get through the quoting process, managing the campaigns and ad systems, right? So, hi, Shakti, how are you?
Yeah, hi, Renika. I'm doing good. Yeah. Um,
Great.
yeah, it's
So,
much privilege to be as part of this team. And thanks
yes,
for
it's
inviting me for this tech talk.
yes, it's a privilege to have you here too, Shakti. Thanks for, helping us to quickly come through with this media cloud details, right? So, Shakti, so what I have seen is, when I speak to some customers, right, who are from media company, right? So they say that they
Yes,
need their key requirements belong in, having some configurations or some flexible customizations configurations in place to quickly adapt to new trends. Like for example, nowadays we have media in different formats, right? So we have like
correct. Yeah.
we have ads in video format, in banner format, and nowadays it's like a pop-up text too in so these are some of the key requirements that I've just listed here. So I also wanted to show, a site as in, so this is like the Times of India site, right? So they are basically digital media, print media too, right? And like, so for example, if I'm the media company and I do have some publishing options, right? So I do get a lot of ads. And so here, what the problem that I could face is like managing these ads, which ad should come where, in which format, in which
Yes. Yeah.
slot, and how to manage the pricing for it, or maybe the details of it, right? So if they have a campaign sort, so how long it is and so on, right? So
So that's where
Shakti,
this media cloud is going to help us.
okay, great. So Shakti, could you just navigate us through like the pain points of the customers and how it is managed in media cloud?
Sure, Renika. So first of all, let's start with what is like advertisement. So advertising is one of the ways that publishers and content owners most frequently use to drive their revenue. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, right, we are coming across many brands. Okay. So if you take, for example, a toothpaste or a TV, okay, from a small item to a big item like car or bus or lorry, right? So
Hmm.
this advertising landscape, right? This was not same as like some 50 years ago. Okay. So now
Hmm.
there are a lot of competitions in the market. Okay.
Hmm.
So each brand, right? So each brand want to get attention from their consumers, okay, that's customers. So they want to sell their products like in a good way, okay, so that they can generate their revenue, more revenue, okay.
Hmm.
So for that, they heavily rely on these advertisements, okay. So, however, we know, right, the media landscape is no longer two-dimensional, okay. When I say
Hmm.
two-dimensional, right, where a brand advertising in radio, television, or print would reach most of their audience. Okay, like let's say
Yeah.
like 50 years or 100 years ago. Okay, right from the term advertisement, media was came into the world, right?
Hmm.
So earlier it was like a particular brand would advertise their product in radio, television, or print. Okay. So
Right.
at that time, media companies never faced as much competition for consumer attention as they do today. The reason
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
now everything has become digital. Okay. So people are more involved in digital devices or digital platforms. Sorry, electronic devices and digital platforms. Okay. We have mobile, so
Yeah.
everyone has mobile on their hand, and it's easy to access many apps. Okay.
Yeah.
So this, how to say, these brands, right? The brands are trying to get our attention. Okay. So in the easiest way and as quickly as possible. Okay. For that, what they are doing, right? They are using this platform, okay, digital platform like YouTube
Hmm.
and other things. Okay. So that they can sell their products as much as they can. Okay. So
Hmm.
that they
Hmm.
can get attention, the people's consumers' attention, and they are trying to create a brand value for their products. Okay. So many get success in that, and many get failure as well. Okay. Many get fail in that branding as well. Okay. So
Hmm.
that is apart, but let's focus on this, like how this advertising works, okay, for a particular
Hmm.
brand. Okay.
Hmm.
So considering Media Cloud, right, provided by Salesforce, so we have a package called ASM, okay, Advertising Sales Management.
Hmm.
Okay. So can you just move on to the next slide?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Shakti, I'm just not.
Okay. So this ASM is a package provided by Salesforce. Okay. It is
Hmm.
100% native and active to Salesforce. Okay. So here they're providing some ready-made components, okay, components and modules, so that the media companies can generate the revenue in a easier and quicker way.
Hmm.
Okay. So previously, if you notice, right, without ASM and the media cloud, right, the challenges, the main pain points were like within a publisher, right? So before
Hmm.
that, let me explain the key players, okay, in the media play. So there are like three key players, okay. One is publisher,
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
other is advertiser, and the other is agency. Okay. So publisher
Okay.
is someone who sells their platform, okay,
Okay.
to display or to sell the advertisements, okay. So they
Hmm.
provide their medium, for example, a digital medium, okay, like Times of India. We have a media called Times of India, right?
Hmm.
If you take a TV, right, there are like a lot of channels, okay. So those are all like
Hmm.
publishers. Those are all categorized as publishers, okay. The second player is advertiser. So
Hmm.
when we say advertiser, right, advertiser is nothing but the brand itself, the company, which is trying to sell their products, okay, across these platforms. And third is an agency. So agency can either be a publisher or an advertiser. Okay. So he's like a mediator between a publisher and the advertiser. So suppose
Okay.
if an advertiser want to reach out to a publisher, right, either he can reach directly to the publisher or via the agency. Okay. So there are a lot of agency companies as well currently available in the market, okay, all over the world. Okay. So that the work of advertisers would become easier. So they will just hand over their product details, brands, everything to the agency, so that the agency will pick the right publisher. Okay. So we reach out to the right publisher, and this publisher will publish their content on their platform. Okay. So the pain points, right, previously were without this ASM and media cloud, right, would be like silos everywhere. So uh, when a publisher gets a contract, right, from an advertiser, so there will be like different teams working within that publisher company. Okay. There could be sales
Hmm.
team, planning team, IT systems and operations. Okay. So they'll
Okay.
be maintaining their own data. So there won't be much chance to share the data across the silos. Okay. So
Hmm.
that is one of the challenges. Okay. The second challenge would be ineffective communication between the silos. That will lead to inaccuracies in sales forecast, revenue leakage. Okay.
Right. Hmm.
And whenever the complexity increases, right, it will become a big burden for them again. So they have to
Hmm.
track everything, okay, manually. Okay. So
Yeah.
they have to track manually. Again, it will lead to some inaccuracies in the lead account and campaign. Okay. So they
Hmm.
couldn't track it properly. Okay. And yeah, the other thing is like audience data goes unused. So which means suppose if they get some data, okay, from their advertisers, okay,
Hmm.
and if they publish their ad, right, previously there was no a proper way to track their revenue of advertisements. Suppose if a publisher is publishing an advertisement, right,
Hmm.
so there was no way to like how many times that particular ad will be played in a day. Okay. There was no
Okay.
logic or something, okay, in the background to check like how many times these ads are played and how many people were watching the ads, okay, and
Hmm.
how much the sales were after watching this advertisements, okay. So in order
Hmm.
to tackle all these challenges, right, so Salesforce has come up with this media cloud called media cloud and ASM package, okay.
Okay.
So what does this ASM does? So yeah, when we say ASM, right, it's an advertising sales management, which connects all the systems together, okay, silos together, okay, which means we can bring all the business into a single flow, okay, streamline the business so that one person from one team can give the other person's work as well, okay. For example, a sales executive, right, he might have created a
Hmm.
campaign, media campaign for a particular customer, okay, and in the future, if the same customer, right, raises some complaints or something, right, so that the service agent, right, people from the sales support, right, they can view their data, which is a
Hmm.
360-degree. Okay, Salesforce provided 360-degree personal
Hmm.
experience. Okay, so that they will have all the details at one place, and it will be easy for them to view those details. Okay, And apart from this, right, it will reduce manual tasks, back office processes, okay, so that the employees can focus on providing personalized experience for every consumer. Okay, and this can also improve the revenue, okay, by reducing some routine administrative tasks and increasing collaboration among the teams. Okay. So these are the benefits of ASM in Media Cloud.
Yes.
And yeah, so can you just
Yeah,
move on to the
Shakti,
next
before
slide?
moving on to the media planning process, right? I would like to tell our viewers that, guys, you can continue posting your questions in the comments, right? And we will definitely love to address those as well. So please do keep putting your questions in the comments. Yeah. Yeah, Shakti, I think we can get started with the media planning process as well.
Yeah, sure, Renuka. So the diagram, this is the diagram for media planning process. Okay, so here if you see, right, it all starts with an opportunity. Okay, so before this opportunity, there are like two steps. Okay, that is the lead generation and account creation. So lead is nothing but a prospect. So the publisher will be looking for a prospect. Okay, so they will create a lead for the particular prospect. For example, so in our use case, we are using this Times of India. Okay, so Times of India is a publisher. So let's consider that Samsung is an advertiser. Okay, so Samsung want to advertise their product. Okay, the latest phones on their Times of India on the Times of India website. Okay.
Okay.
So what does this Times of India do, right? They will create a lead for Samsung. That is a prospect. Okay. And then they will create that lead convert that lead into an account. Okay. So an account will be created for the Samsung. Okay. Which is the advertiser here. Okay. So here we are dealing with directly dealing with publisher and advertiser. Okay. So agency doesn't come into the picture. So let's consider this Times of India has a publisher and Samsung has the Samsung has a advertiser. Okay. So what does this Times of India does, right? So they will create a lead and they'll convert that lead into account. Okay, this is an usual process in Salesforce for in other clouds also, like communication clouds and everything. Okay. So in that account, right, after creating the account, they'll be creating this media campaign. So here they'll be collecting the information from the advertiser. Okay. Like, so when we say media campaign, right? So they will be collecting the details like what kind of mobiles are they going to advertise. Okay. The latest phone like M31 or something. Okay. Some latest Samsung mobiles. Okay. And what kind of ad do they need? Okay. Whether it's an like 10-second ad or 20-second ad or even for a 1-minute ad. Okay. So that is again a data provided by the advertiser. Okay. And he can even select a slot on the web page. Okay. So that is called the ad space. See, if you open any website, right, the ads will be shown here and there. Okay. On the right side, on the left side, on the bottom, on the top, right.
Yeah.
So that will
like
be
these.
yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, right, you can see, right, currently this Times of India is displaying the Flipkart ad on the right side and the left side, both sides. Okay. So likewise, suppose if you want to display the Samsung ad, right? So what we are going to do, so we are going to create a media campaign. So in that media campaign, we'll be giving all the details related to the advertising. Okay. So in Media Cloud, right, the advertising is called as creative. Okay. Creative is nothing but the ads. Okay. So the terminology for advertising is creative in this Media Cloud. Okay. So once that media campaign is created, right? I forgot to tell something. So the main part in media campaign is the budget. Okay. Like how much Samsung is going to spend on this advertisement. Okay. So let's say that Samsung is ready to spend 2 crores. Okay. So their budget will be 2 crores. So what this publisher will do, right? So they have to see that that budget does not exist. Okay. So there will be some contract signed, okay, between this Samsung and Times of India, like for each slot, like how much amount will be spent, okay, for each advertisement for showing like one time. So generally what happens like, so after creating this media campaign, right, we'll be creating this media plan. So in this media plan, right, we will be just we'll be adding the products. So when we say here products, right, it's nothing but the advertisement shape and size, as I said.
Okay, so like the slot that we saw, like this slot is counted for. Okay.
Correct. So in the example which we saw, right? Yeah. So this is a rectangular slot. Okay. So it could be like 100 by 200 pixels, something like that, right? So those details will be giving in this code, configure code.
Okay.
And the other details will be like the rate card. Okay, like how much is this publisher is going to charge like for per ad. Okay.
Okay.
So there is one more important term in Media Cloud that is called impression. Okay. So when we say impression, right? Impression is nothing but the amount of time, okay, the ad is shown for one time. Okay. So now, Renika, you showed me the Times of India, right? So in that we saw this Flipkart. So if this Flipkart ad is getting displayed for 10 seconds, right? That is one impression.
Okay.
So it will just reload and the other ad will come up there in the same location. Okay, which means the other brand is also advertising their product in the same website. Okay. So that is one impression for them. So this is called the KPI. Okay, key performance indicators here. Okay, so that is how they track their revenue. Okay, like how much, like how many times their ad or displayed for a particular day or for a week or for a month. Okay, or even for a year. Yeah.
Can this also be on like refresh basis, Shakti? I mean, if I just refresh it, maybe some other ad pops up.
Yeah.
So that would count as a new impression, is it?
So since we are focusing on the digital ad, right? These displaying of ads, right, is taken care by GAM. Okay. It's not from Salesforce side. So GAM is nothing but Google Ad Manager. Okay. So this Google company has their own engine. Okay. Which displays these advertisements on any slot. Okay. On any websites. Okay. So provided that the publisher and advertiser are using GAM. Okay. There are also even other applications, okay, which displays these ads. Okay, we have this Facebook, okay, and we have this for TV, okay, for TVs and radios. There are like different applications. Okay, so these applications will take care, like at what time and at what frequency these ads should be displayed. Okay. Okay. So that is one thing. So here, right, we are using GAM, okay, Google Ad Manager. So it's an application which takes care of publishing this ad, okay, on the publisher content. Okay. So those details will be given in the configure code. Okay. So once this code is generated, right, then the next step would be the publisher will generate a document. Okay. That is nothing but a contract. Okay. So in that document, again, the details, whatever provided in opportunity and code, right, that will be in a written format. Okay. That will be in a written format in a proper document. That is the contract. Okay. So this contract will be sent to the advertiser again. Okay. So the advertiser, once he gets that contract, right? So what he will do, he will be just go through the contract and he'll check the budget of it. Sometimes some kind of negotiation can happen between publisher and advertiser. Okay. So if the advertiser has ordered for more products, okay, which is exceeding their budget, okay, and if they're ready to spend more on their advertisement, right, so they can adjust the budget as well here. Okay. So that is one point. Okay. So again, if they are
so
ready
this
to
is
spend,
similar to a sales cycle, right, Shakti? So as in with this document, they can negotiate and further create a new quote and then basically, create a new document again and ensure that they're coming up to a. Okay.
So once all is fine, right? So this advertiser will sign this document and again he'll send back to the publisher. Okay. That will be stored on the opportunity. Okay, opportunity part. Okay. So after that, right, the create order will be activated. Okay. So the user can see this create order button on the opportunity. Okay. So once they create an order, right, what does it does, right? This order is nothing but a field mapping between the code and the order. Okay. So whatever details we have entered in the code, right, that will be created as a fulfillment request lines. Okay. And it will be sent to the GAM. Okay. That is the Google Ad Manager. Okay. So once it is set, right, this order gets completed. Okay. But on the other side, right, in the GAM, so what they will do, right, some admin, right, from Google Ad Manager, what they'll do, they'll log in into their system and they'll check whether they have received this order properly or not. Okay. If the order is not proper, we have to resend this order again. Okay. So order is nothing but it contains the detail of that advertisement, okay, and the other details as we discussed, right? The size of the ad, what is the rate, and how many times frequency, those things, okay.
Right.
So those things will be sent to the GAM. So once he activates, right? So the admin from the camp has to activate this order. Okay. So it
Okay.
will be a manual process from their end, not from Salesforce end. Okay. So once they activate, right? Yeah, it will be up and running in the camp. So whenever the time slot comes for that particular ad, right, it will be shown on the website. As we saw, right, here in Times of
Right.
India. So
Yeah.
currently we saw this Flipkart ad. Okay. See, now it got changed to Merlin and Sony. Okay. On the left side, we can see Sony, on the right side, Merlin. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means that someone has automated this, like at this time, right now the time is 6:20. Okay. So at this time 6:20, this Sony ad and Merlin ad should be shown here. So such kind of like manipulation is done in the camp. Okay. Google Ad Match.
Okay.
Likewise for Samsung, right, there will be some particular time slots. Okay. And when the time comes, right, those ads will be fetched from the Google Ad Manager and it will be shown here. Okay.
Okay. All right, Shakti, I think we'll get started with the demo, right? So just show the flow in the org as
Sure.
well. So I'll just stop share and you can start sharing.
Yes, 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Shakti, it's very good.
Okay, so as I said earlier, right, the media planning process, right? So the first process would be an account creation. Okay. So here we have created an account for the advertiser Samsung. Okay. So if you see here, right, there are like few details captured, okay, in this account details, like the account name. So there is no parent account for this. Okay, if there is a parent account, right, see, suppose if this Samsung has some child company, okay, so this at that time Samsung will become the parent company and the child will be the account name, okay, child company.
Okay.
So here Samsung doesn't have any child account, so it is a just account, not parent account. And if you see here, right, this account record type, it is an advertiser. So as we discussed earlier, right, there are like 3 types of account records. Okay, advertiser, brand, and agency. Okay. So yeah, these are the main details here.
So now, Shakti, can you just show the 360 view as well from the related tab, as in the opportunities related to this account and
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the opportunity. So once the account is created, right, the next step would be the media campaign, creation of media campaign. So if you see here, right, so we have this stage, like it is prospecting, okay, account name is Samsung, opportunity name is Samsung opportunity, and
that's the amount you were talking about, right?
yeah,
yeah.
Yes, sorry, yes. So this is the amount, budget amount, okay.
Yeah.
And the next step would be so creating the code here.
Okay. Right. So to create a code from opportunity, we click on that create media plan button,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Since it is a long process, right? I have already created beforehand. And
Yes,
I'm just
yeah.
showing the already created code. Okay. Yeah. So whenever a code is created, right, along with this, this ad code will be created. Okay. See, this code is nothing but it has some like high level details related to the account and opportunity. Okay. But whereas this ad code, right, it has the details about the advertisements. Okay. So if you see here, right, like total gross rating point, total cost per rating point, right? These are all the terms associated with the media cloud. Okay. Like media industry, like bonus ad time, okay, total ad time, like total amount, okay, these details. So if you see here, right, add code line name. So this add code line, right, this will be created whenever we add a product to the account. Okay. So as I said again, right, product is nothing but a creative. Okay. The ad and the size. Okay. The type of ad which the advertiser want to show on the publisher content. Okay. So if you see here, right, we have this product code which is unique here. Yeah, so we have this ad server, add creative size types, add creative URLs. Okay. So here in this add creative size types, right, we can enter the size types. Okay, like 200 into
Okay.
300 pixels, whatever the size. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
advertiser wants to advertise his product, right?
So the
And
space
this
in
is the
which we
ad
want
server.
to publish our ad.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the ad server. So ad server, as I said, right? GAM is an ad server. So here we need
Mm-hmm.
to link that. Okay. So currently this sandbox, right, which I'm showing, it has no integration with GAM. So I haven't updated yet. Okay. But in real-time projects, right, we have this ad server. So it can be different service. And
Mm-hmm.
see this one-time charge, one-time total. Okay. Requested quantity is
Correct.
1,000. Okay.
Hmm.
See here, it is given as 1,000, which means this particular ad, right? It should be like displayed 1,000 times.
Okay.
Okay, this is the quantity. Okay. And this 1,000 times, right? It will be like it will be recorded using some performance indicators. Okay, like cost per miles. We have different key performance indicators. Okay, like cost per miles. So when we say like cost per miles, right? Like per 1,000
Mm-hmm.
impressions. Okay. We have other thing like cost per click. Okay, CPC. So whenever the user clicks right on the ad, so if he's interested in the ad and if he likes to buy the ad, right, he'll be clicking on the ad, correct? So that will be
Okay.
like cost per click. Those
Mm-hmm.
charges will depend on the KPI factors, okay, the key performance
Okay.
indicators. And this is the main thing, like when this ad should start, okay, and when this ad should end. Okay. So here we are defining the ad request started and ended. Okay. So once this code is ready, right, we'll be generating a contract. Okay. But unfortunately here, right, we don't have this facility. Okay. So yeah, once let's assume that contract is created here. And once that contract is created, right, after the negotiation, right, so between the publisher and advertiser, the contract will be signed. Okay. Once it is signed, right, this code will be uploaded. So the next step would be like order creation. Okay. So the sales executive, right, or the sales representative, he will be submitting this order.
Mm-hmm.
So once this order is submitted, right, this add order items will be created. Actually, this add order items will be sent to the CAP. Okay, so if you
Okay.
see here, right, again, it will contains the same detail as it was mentioned in the code. Okay,
So this is like ad
requested.
quote items have been mapped into ad order items, is it?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And this will be pushed to the integration systems. Okay. In our case, it is
Okay.
yeah.
So all the details that we put in the quote line item, as in the size and which
Correct.
server it should be, that will be mapped here as well.
Yes.
Okay.
In the so we have this orchestration plan. Okay. So this orchestration plan is nothing but it is used to integrate Salesforce with the GAP. So it is loading GAP.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it works in the backend. Okay. So whenever an order is placed, right? So this order will flow from Salesforce to GAP. Okay. So we have here like different components. Okay, like GAM start, GAM order service, GAM order line item, right? So as I said, right, I showed you, right, add order line item. So those details will be sent in this block. And we have like few more blocks. So after all, right, it will be reaching to GAM.
Okay. So we can actually track our order processing as well with this orchestration plan here. Yeah. Okay.
So then after this step, right, it will go to the GAM. So the admin from the GAM, right, he will just ensure that this order has received successfully and he will place that order. Yeah. So he will activate that order in GAM. So once that order is activated, right, depending on the ad request start date, right, this campaign will start. So the advertiser can campaign his product on particular medium. In our case, we have taken Times of India, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's all about the business flow.
Okay. Great, Shakti. So guys, if you have any questions on the business flow, do let us know. And Shakti, we'll just continue with why customers actually choose media cloud, right? So
yeah, sure.
I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, Renuka.
Yeah. So, Shakti, would you like to summarize on why why generally media companies go for Media Cloud to ease through their processes, right? So,
Yeah,
what do they
sure.
move from to? Yeah.
Yeah. So let me reiterate. So as I said earlier, right, we discussed the different pain points and the solutions for that. So the first
Hmm.
pain point is like data silos of departments. There could be different departments within a
Hmm.
publisher company, and it would be difficult or challenge for them to interact with
Hmm.
within the teams, okay, within with the other teams or within the teams and maintain the data. So for that, Salesforce ASM provides this customer 360 single source of truth. So as we
Hmm.
saw here, right, we have this account opportunity code objects where we can give this information handy so that we can create a profiles for each team, okay, like for sales team
Hmm.
and for IT operations team, okay, and we can also manage the record level, okay, security, like which team has to view which records. So those
Hmm.
functionalities are provided by Salesforce, and it will be easy for the team to view the data. Okay. And
Hmm.
the second point is like campaign performance and data utilization checklists. Yeah. So as we said, right, without ASM, it was like mostly manual task. Okay. And the
Hmm.
data utilization also was a big challenge for the media company. So after implementing ASM, so there will be a like centralized campaign management.
Yeah.
So again, this is something related to this customer 360. So we are centralizing or streamlining the whole business. And
Hmm.
the other things are like manual and error counts, to underutilized audience data, operational inefficiencies. See, these are all are related to directly or indirectly because of manual process.
Hmm.
So we are trying to automate and streamline as much as possible. So
Yeah.
even in ASM, there are like few manual steps, but it has less steps compared to the previous one without
Hmm.
Media Cloud. So some of them are like streamlined operations, as we saw, right? So in one click from order, right, the whole data will be set to the GAM. So this data is
Yeah.
streamlined. Okay. So previously, right, without ASM, right, different teams has to
Hmm.
work together and they have to send their different data to the GAM, and it
Okay.
will be an again it will be like an ineffective process for them. So there is a chance of
Hmm.
missing something, okay, revenue leakage or even some data leakage as well.
Hmm.
Okay. And the next advantage is like integrated first party data utilization. Okay. So when we say this first party data, right? So whatever information we are getting from the client, right? I mean, from the
Hmm.
advertiser, right? We can store that in account and opportunity right away. Okay.
Hmm.
So suppose without ASM, right, this audience data goes unused or unnoticed. Okay.
Right.
So previously without ASM, right? Like how to say, so whenever advertiser gives an some contract, right? So different
Hmm.
teams will be working on some different parts. So
Hmm.
again, there's a chance of like misusing the data or unusing or missing some of the data. So in order to avoid that, we are integrating the first party data here.
Hmm.
And the last one, yes, of course. So as we are using ASM, right, it's a streamlined process. So this will help in increasing the revenue and improve the customer experiences also.
Yeah.
And the other added advantage here is like, Renuka, it's
Hmm.
like, see, suppose if they are placing first order, right, they
Yeah.
can amend the order or they can renew the order also.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's a great
that
feature. So
process is
they don't
also, yeah,
so they don't have to go through the entire process. They can just renew it
yes,
and
yeah.
okay.
So whenever this advertiser, right, this company comes
Hmm.
back to this publisher, and if they like to extend the contract, right, or if they want to publish their campaign their product, right, for next for
Hmm.
next 1 month or next 1 year, so we can renew the contract and we can
Okay.
create a change order. We can create a change order for them and again send it back to them with a new request started and ending.
Okay, that's great.
Yes. So that is supported by Salesforce.
Okay. That's amazing, Shakti. Thank